If you are over 60, there is a silent threat inside your body that grows stronger with time. And most people never notice it until it begins to affect their heart, their liver, their energy, and even their independence. It is not the fat you see in the mirror. It is the fat hidden deep inside your abdomen, wrapped tightly around your organs. And today you are going to learn how to shrink it faster than you thought possible. This type of fat is called visceral fat, and it behaves very differently from the soft belly fat. Most people focus on visceral fat is active. It releases chemicals that disrupt hormones, raise blood pressure, inflame your organs, and make weight loss harder as the years go by. After 60, the body becomes more vulnerable to this internal fat. Because muscle mass decreases, hormones shift, and the body becomes less efficient at burning energy. The good news is that visceral fat responds quickly when you follow the right strategy. In this video, you will discover exactly what works, why it works, and how you can begin transforming your health in just 30 days. Stay with me, because what you are about to learn is not the usual advice you see everywhere online. Most people are told to do endless crunches or try extreme diets. But none of those approaches specifically target visceral fat. In fact, some common habits that people believe are harmless can actually make this hidden fat grow faster, especially after 60. Before the end of this video, you will understand the biggest mistakes that keep visceral fat stuck and the science-backed steps that can help you shrink it much more quickly. You will learn the number one type of movement that melts visceral fat better than long workouts. You will also learn which foods switch off the internal fat storage signals that become stronger with age. There is a simple daily pattern that lowers the hormones responsible for storing fat around your organs, and it has nothing to do with extreme dieting. You will hear how sleep, stress, and even the timing of meals can either slow down or speed up your results. These details matter far more than most people realize, and once you apply them, the body begins responding within weeks. There is another reason to stay with this video until the end. Visceral fat does not just raise the risk of diabetes and heart disease. It also affects memory, mobility, and the ability to stay independent as you get older. Scientists have found that higher visceral fat levels can interfere with muscle strength and even affect how clearly you think. That means reducing this hidden fat is not only about looking better, it is about protecting your long-term health, keeping your body strong, and maintaining the freedom to live your life the way you want. This video will guide you through a clear and simple path, the fastest method to shrink visceral fat in 30 days. You will learn how a few small changes in movement and eating patterns can trigger powerful changes inside your body. This is not complicated, and it does not require intense workouts or strict diets. It is about understanding what your body needs after 60 and giving it the right tools to fight back. By the time we reach the end of this video, you will have a practical plan that you can start today. So if you want to feel lighter, stronger, and healthier from the inside out, stay with me all the way through. The final steps are the ones that most people skip, and those steps are exactly what make the biggest difference. This information can help you reclaim control over your health in a way that you can feel within weeks. Welcome to our channel, where we bring you clear, science-based guidance to help you stay healthy, active, and confident at any age. If you want more videos like this, make sure to subscribe and join our growing community. Your journey to better internal health starts now. Visceral fat is the type of fat that hides deep inside the abdomen, wrapped around organs such as the liver, pancreas, and intestines. It is not the soft layer you can grab on your stomach. It sits behind the abdominal wall, tucked out of sight, and that is one reason it can be so dangerous. Health experts, including those at the Cleveland Clinic and WebMD, point out that this fat behaves very differently from regular body fat. It is biologically active, meaning it releases chemicals and hormones that can disrupt normal functions inside the body. As we move past the age of 60, the body begins to change in ways that make visceral fat more likely to accumulate. Studies shared through PubMed Central show that aging naturally leads to a decline in muscle mass. With less muscle, the body burns fewer calories at rest, even if weight on the scale does not change. Hormones shift as well. Levels of growth hormone and sex hormones drop, which alters how the body stores fat. Instead of staying under the skin, more of it shifts toward the organs. This process can happen quietly over years, even in people who do not feel overweight. For older adults, rising visceral fat carries serious consequences. Research published through medical journals like Dove Medical Press shows that higher levels of visceral fat are strongly linked to metabolic disorders such as type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, and fatty liver disease. It also connects to a greater risk of frailty, reduced mobility, inflammation, and even cognitive decline. Unlike surface fat, which affects appearance, visceral fat directly influences how well the body functions on the inside. That is why understanding this hidden fat matters so much after 60. It is not about having a flatter stomach. It is about supporting your heart, protecting your organs, and keeping your body strong as you age. When visceral fat grows, it affects your energy, your balance, your metabolism, and your long-term health. Reducing it is one of the most important steps older adults can take to stay active, independent, and healthy. Many people over 60 are surprised to learn that visceral fat can shrink faster than other types of fat when you follow the right approach. Health organizations such as the Cleveland Clinic explain that this deep abdominal fat is more metabolically active than the fat under your skin because it reacts quickly to changes in diet, movement, and lifestyle. It can start decreasing within weeks. This does not mean it disappears instantly, but it does mean the body responds faster than most people expect, especially when you commit to consistent habits. When experts talk about the fastest way to reduce visceral fat, they are not referring to overnight results or extreme programs. The body does not work that way, and quick fixes almost always backfire. What they mean is that visceral fat is highly sensitive to healthier routines, and even a 30-day period can lead to noticeable change. During this time, the liver becomes less burdened, insulin levels begin to stabilize, inflammation starts to drop, and the fat stored around the organs slowly begins to shrink. The process is steady rather than dramatic, but it is meaningful and measurable. Over 30 days, most people can expect improvements that they can feel and sometimes even see. Waist size may decrease slightly as internal fat reduces pressure inside the abdomen. Clothing can fit more comfortably. Energy levels often rise because the body becomes better at using fuel and regulating blood sugar. Some people even notice their digestion becomes smoother and their sleep improves as internal inflammation decreases. These are early signs that the body is moving in the right direction. Laboratory markers may also begin to shift during this period. Triglycerides can drop, blood sugar can become more stable, and markers of liver health may improve. These changes are not guaranteed for everyone at the same pace, but they are common enough that many health professionals encourage older adults to stay consistent long enough to feel the difference. Results vary from person to person based on activity level, diet, stress, and sleep, but the potential for progress in the first 30 days is real. The key is consistency. Small daily actions matter more than perfect days. 30 days is long enough for the body to respond, adjust, and begin releasing visceral fat from the tissues surrounding your organs. It is the beginning of a much larger transformation that continues with steady effort. One of the most reliable ways to shrink visceral fat after 60 is to increase movement, especially the kind that works with your body rather than against it. Research from sources like Harvard Health and Health Direct shows that aerobic activities are among the most effective tools for reducing the deep fat stored around your organs. Walking, cycling, and swimming are all excellent choices because they raise the heart rate without putting unnecessary stress on the joints. Even a simple daily walk can create powerful internal changes, helping your body burn energy more efficiently and lowering the hormones that encourage visceral fat storage. For older adults, resistance training is just as important as aerobic exercise. Studies shared through PubMed highlight that strength training helps rebuild muscle, which naturally declines with age. Muscle is metabolically active tissue, meaning it burns more calories even when you are resting. The more muscle you have, the easier it becomes for your body to release stored fat, including visceral fat. Strength work does not need to be heavy or intense. Light dumbbells, resistance bands, or even body weight movements support metabolism and protect joint stability. The goal for people over 60 is not to perform hard workouts, but to move consistently and safely. Joint-friendly exercises matter, especially for those with arthritis, stiffness, or balance concerns. Low-impact movements allow you to exercise regularly without overloading your knees, hips, or lower back. Consistency is what creates real change. A simple structure that works for many older adults is 5 days per week of moderate aerobic activity combined with 2 days of gentle strength training. This routine supports heart health, muscle maintenance, and long-term fat reduction. It is also important to understand that you cannot target visceral fat by doing exercises focused only on the belly area. Crunches, sit-ups, and ab machines do not reach the fat stored deep inside the abdomen. This type of fat responds to overall movement, improved circulation, and hormonal balance triggered by regular exercise. When the whole body works together, the fat around the organs begins to decrease. Movement becomes a signal to the body that it is time to release stored energy, strengthen muscles, and improve internal health. Diet is one of the strongest tools for reducing visceral fat, and research published in scientific journals, including those from NDPI, shows that what you eat can influence how quickly this hidden fat responds. For people over 60, nutrition becomes even more important because the body processes food differently with age. Metabolism slows, muscle mass decreases, and the body becomes more sensitive to the effects of sugar and processed foods. A smart and balanced diet can lower inflammation, stabilize blood sugar, and signal the body to release fat stored around the organs. A key part of this strategy is prioritizing lean protein. Protein helps preserve muscle, which naturally declines as you get older. When muscle mass drops, the body burns fewer calories at rest, making it easier for visceral fat to accumulate. Eating enough protein helps counter this process. Foods such as fish, poultry, eggs, beans, and low-fat dairy provide steady support for muscle repair and strength. Protein also keeps you fuller for longer, reducing the likelihood of overeating or reaching for sugary snacks. Fiber-rich foods are another essential part of a senior-friendly diet. Vegetables, fruits, whole grains, and legumes help regulate digestion and stabilize blood sugar, both of which influence visceral fat storage. Fiber slows the release of sugar into the bloodstream, reducing insulin spikes that encourage the body to store fat deep in the abdomen. Whole food carbohydrates also provide long-lasting energy, which supports daily movement and reduces cravings. Reducing added sugars and processed foods is especially important. Guidance from Johns Hopkins Medicine emphasizes that foods high in refined sugars, white flour, and unhealthy fats contribute directly to increased belly fat and internal fat around organs. These foods raise inflammation and disturb metabolic balance, making it harder for the body to burn visceral fat effectively. Choosing whole, minimally processed foods helps reverse this pattern. Meal timing can also play a role. Some studies shared through Science Direct suggest that time-restricted eating, or gentle intermittent fasting may help reduce visceral fat by giving the body longer periods without insulin spikes. For older adults, this does not mean skipping meals aggressively. It can be as simple as finishing dinner earlier in the evening or avoiding late night snacking. Seniors must also pay attention to essential nutrients such as calcium and vitamin D, which support bone strength and overall health. Crash dieting or cutting calories too severely can lead to muscle loss, weakness, and nutrient deficiencies. A balanced, nourishing diet supports the body, protects muscle, and encourages steady visceral fat reduction. Lifestyle habits play a major role in how the body stores and releases visceral fat, especially after the age of 60. Sleep, stress levels, alcohol intake, smoking habits, and your overall daily activity pattern all influence the hormones that control fat around the organs. Health experts, including those at the Cleveland Clinic, point out that these factors are often just as important as exercise and diet because they directly affect cortisol, insulin, inflammation, and metabolic balance. Sleep is one of the most powerful but overlooked pieces of the puzzle. When sleep is poor or too short, cortisol levels rise. Cortisol is a stress hormone that encourages the body to store fat in the abdominal area, particularly the deep visceral fat surrounding organs. Older adults often struggle with sleep due to discomfort, nighttime waking, or medical issues, and this long-term sleep disruption can make visceral fat harder to reduce. Improving sleep quality, such as maintaining a steady sleep schedule, creating a calming nighttime routine, and limiting screen time before bed can help lower these stress signals and support internal fat loss. Stress plays a similar role. Chronic stress keeps cortisol elevated for long periods, and this hormonal pattern tells the body to store more energy as fat, especially around the organs. Emotional stress, caregiving responsibilities, financial pressure, or health concerns can make this even more challenging for seniors. Engaging in calming activities such as breathing exercises, gentle stretching, walking outdoors, or doing enjoyable hobbies can help reduce the strain on the body's stress system. Alcohol and smoking are two habits that strongly influence visceral fat accumulation. Alcohol increases calorie intake, disrupts sleep, and interferes with liver function, which is closely connected to visceral fat levels. Smoking affects hormone balance, metabolism, and inflammation, making it more likely for fat to settle deep in the abdomen. Even small reductions in alcohol or smoking can create meaningful changes over time. Another important lifestyle factor is staying active throughout the day, not just during a planned workout. For older adults, daily movement plays a major role in keeping metabolism active. Light activities such as household chores, gardening, stretching, or casual walks help the body burn more energy and keep circulation strong. This steady movement throughout the day reduces stiffness, supports joint health, and encourages the body to use stored fat for fuel. These lifestyle essentials create a supportive environment that helps the body release visceral fat more easily, allowing exercise and nutrition to work more effectively. A 30-day plan gives the body enough time to respond, adjust, and begin releasing visceral fat. And breaking the month into weekly steps makes the process easier and more realistic for older adults. The goal is steady progress rather than perfection, allowing habits to build naturally without overwhelming the body. During the first week, the focus is on establishing simple routines that set the foundation for everything that follows. A daily 30-minute walk helps warm up the joints, improve circulation, and begin activating the muscles needed for fat loss. Adding 2 light strength sessions supports muscle maintenance, which is especially important after 60. These sessions can be gentle, using only body weight or very light resistance. At the same time, shifting the diet away from processed snacks and toward whole foods helps stabilize blood sugar and reduce the internal signals that encourage visceral fat storage. These early changes are often enough to make the body feel slightly lighter and more balanced within a few days. In the second week, the goal is to build on these habits by increasing the challenge just a little. Walking can become slightly longer or at a more purposeful pace. Strength training can incorporate more variety, such as resistance bands or light weights, to activate different muscle groups without stressing the joints. This mild increase in effort supports stronger muscles, better metabolism, and improved energy. The third week introduces short interval bursts during walking. As long as a doctor has cleared this type of activity, interval bursts can be as simple as walking faster for 15 to 20 seconds and then returning to a comfortable pace. These small boosts increase heart rate and stimulate visceral fat reduction. This week also reinforces the importance of sleep and stress management by paying attention to patterns that may interfere with progress. In the fourth week, the focus shifts to consistency. The same exercise rhythm continues, the diet stays balanced, and the body begins to show signs of internal change. This is a time to notice how clothes fit, how much energy you have, and how your waist feels. At the end of the 30 days, it becomes easier to see what has improved and to decide which habits to continue into the next month for steady, ongoing progress. Older adults have unique needs, and taking the right precautions can make the entire process of reducing visceral fat safer, easier, and more effective. Before beginning any new exercise or nutrition plan, it is important to speak with a doctor, especially if you live with chronic conditions such as heart disease, diabetes, arthritis, or high blood pressure. A brief conversation with a healthcare professional can help you understand what level of activity is appropriate and what adjustments may be needed to protect your joints, heart, and overall well-being. Says exercise should always feel safe and controlled. Many people over 60 deal with joint pain, stiffness, or limited mobility, and choosing low-impact activities can make movement far more comfortable. Swimming provides gentle resistance without pressure on the knees or hips. Cycling supports the joints while still offering a strong cardiovascular benefit. Even seated resistance exercises can help maintain muscle strength without strain. These types of activities allow seniors to be consistent without risking injury, which is one of the biggest keys to reducing visceral fat over time. Muscle preservation is another essential point for older adults. With age, the body naturally loses muscle at a faster rate, and this loss affects balance, mobility, and metabolism. Less muscle means the body burns fewer calories, which can make visceral fat easier to gain and harder to lose. Strength training, even in small amounts, helps protect against this decline. Light weights, resistance bands, or simple bodyweight movements keep the muscles active and strong. Protecting muscle also protects independence, making everyday tasks easier and reducing the risk of falls. Patience is important as well. The body does not recover as quickly as it once did, and pushing too hard can lead to soreness, fatigue, or injury. Listening to your body is vital. Rest when needed, adjust intensity when something feels uncomfortable, and give yourself time to adapt to new routines. Progress may feel slower, but steady effort produces reliable results. Above all, consistency matters far more than perfection. A few missed days or imperfect meals do not undo your progress. What counts is showing up again, choosing supportive foods most of the time, and moving regularly. These long-term habits, built with care and patience, create the internal environment that allows visceral fat to shrink and health to improve. Motivation plays a huge role for seniors, especially when starting or restarting a health routine. And the first thing to remember is that age doesn't close the door on change. Many people over 60 believe they're too late to make progress, but the body remains adaptable far longer than most realize. Muscles respond to training, the heart responds to movement, and energy levels respond to better habits. Framing the journey as a chance to gain health rather than simply lose fat helps shift the mindset towards something more empowering. Instead of thinking only about a smaller waist, it becomes about having more stamina on walks, moving with less stiffness, and feeling strong enough to do the things you enjoy without hesitation. Small steps matter, and for seniors, those small steps stack up quickly. A 10-minute walk today might turn into a comfortable 30 minutes by the end of the month. Replacing one processed snack with a whole food option can improve appetite control and energy without feeling restrictive. Over a few weeks, these little choices create momentum, making the process feel more achievable and less overwhelming. Tracking progress can make this journey even more motivating. Instead of relying only on the scale, pay attention to how your clothes fit, how easily you get up from a chair, whether your breathing feels smoother, or how your mood shifts throughout the day. A simple tape measure around the waist once a week can show steady changes even when weight stays the same. Every small win reinforces that effort pays off. Celebrating these improvements keeps you engaged. Noticing that you can walk farther without stopping, wake up with slightly more energy, or feel more confident during daily tasks gives you the encouragement to continue building on what you started. So as we wrap up, remember the simple formula: move more throughout your day, choose foods that support your body, protect your sleep, and stay consistent with the habits you started building. These are the foundations that help shrink visceral fat, and they're especially powerful for seniors who want better energy, mobility, and long-term health. Start today, even if it's just a 10-minute walk around your home or down the street. Small actions done daily carry far more impact than waiting for the perfect moment. And if you're beginning this 30-day journey, let us know in the comments how you plan to start and what habits you're choosing to focus on. Check back in after 30 days and share what's changed. Your story might inspire someone else. If you found this video helpful, make sure to like the video and subscribe to our channel for more simple science-backed tips made specifically for seniors. And feel free to share this with a friend or family member over 60 who wants to feel stronger, move easier, and take control of their health. Over 60 is not the finish line. It's a new chapter of health.